Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Foggy and Hawk taking place here on Echo Isle. Hawk has spawned as the blue human player over here on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Foggy over here on the top left as the red night elf. No big surprises here. This is going to be a human versus night elf matchup, and I am expecting to see an early keeper of the grove. Ancient of War also being positioned off over here in these new trees that were added in a couple of patches ago. This particular version, I'm not quite sure why the trees were added, but perhaps to help protect you and not really know when you are it actually blocks line of sight a little bit, so it's going to be more difficult to try and escape out if you do in fact get creep jacked. Let's take a look back at the other end. Ultra of Kings nearly completed. Ultra of Elders should be about the same, as everything is now getting into the early game. Now, once we know what type of heroes we are going to be looking at, most likely Keeper of the Grove versus an Archmage, I'll be able to start making those predictions in terms of what we are going to be looking and seeing. And as I say that, Foggy actually going for a Warden first. The Warden has not been a primary hero for quite some time, so I am actually looking looking forward to this match very much to see how his opponent will respond. Foggy perhaps getting away from that Keeper of the Grove, and Hawk may try to go for a strategy that blindly counters the Keeper of the Grove early on, only to see that it is not that particular hero. Also, are we going to be looking at Lightning Shield being used as well? That is always a big question of concern as the Wisp are now being brought over. We should also be looking at, let's take a look at this. Are we going to see a Lightning Shield? No Lightning Shield. Wisp are just standing right there. Oh, that was purposeful to try and aggro a Lightning Shield. All of those strategies right there to try and aggro a Lightning Shield, beautifully done. The Kobold Geomancer will most likely not get taken out here by that Lightning Shield. Is it? Oh, Fan of Knives to try and finish off. Who's going to get the last shot there? All right. Oh my goodness, the Footman actually got both bits of experience. Hawk's Archmage has got to be very high on level already, even before finishing the Kobold Geomancers and the remaining Kobold Tunneler. The Archmage will be more than halfway to level 3. A hero Footman getting in a large amount of experience for this Archmage here. Wow, a big setback. You did not see the gold animation coming in when Foggy was trying to clear out those particular units, losing a level 5 and a level 3 creep camp. Tree of Life, however, is now being built off to the north here, as it looks as a Wisp trying to get away. Archmage sitting at level 2, not yet at level 3. And Echo Isle is one of those maps where it's more difficult to try and level up. There is a lot of green camps, but there isn't a lot of those intermediary creep camps that are often very useful. When I mean intermediary, I mean getting from level 1 to level 3, pretty easy. Getting up from level 3 to level 5, that is generally much more difficult to do on a map like Echo Isle, especially if you have additional heroes. Warden just now getting to level 2 as it clears out this one particular Murloc hut creep shot. All of these Murlocs here, Warden will stay at level 2, but it does have a pendant of energy. We've seen mana-based heroes, Shadow Hunter, Wardens, if they have extra mana early on in the game, things can start to snowball for them very quickly, especially if the Warden gets a high level of Fan of Knives. Now, what we could be looking at here, if Hawk didn't go for this Arcane Tower and started upgrading it, is that we could have seen Foggy perhaps just use Fan of Knives extremely effectively to try and finish off a lot of units. We can see also the Warden is across over here. It could drop the pendant of energy and pick it back up to try and get much more mana. Archmage is in fact at level 3. That is going to be a big problem as the Warden gets surrounded. He walked into that trap. That was absolutely huge. Are we going to perhaps see... There you go. Does the drop pick back up? Are we going to see a Fan of Knives, though? No Fan of Knives there. The Warden just making its way away instead. But it's going to end up sacrificing a lot of Moonwells. All right, let's take a look at this. Forest Troll Berserkers and other units making their way across. Level 3 now on the Warden. Level 3 Fan of Knives could be enough to swing things around if the Warden perhaps can get some additional damage. Footmen now looking to make their way back across here. Force Troll Berserker gonna get a one Footman there. Is gonna be able to get another one. 79 hit points. Now looking to get away. Force Troll Shadow Priest trying to get away as well. Warden still has a good amount of mana. Another Footman could get taken out here as we're taking a look. Are we gonna see a Fan of Knives? God, this is so close here. There's one more shot. The Footman should just turn back around and kill him. There's a Fan of Knives to aggro a little bit more, and an ensnare. Hawk. Oh my gosh, Foggy, if he purposely did that, aggroed the creeps to get an ensnare onto the Footman, that would have been beautiful. Both sides have lost a lot of units. Hawk sitting with a Ring of Regeneration on that hero will be able to stick around a little while longer. Meanwhile, Healing Spray from the Alchemist heals up that Archmage and that Footman there. Meanwhile, down to the south, Tree of Life making the slow trek to clear out the 533 Ogre Magi creep camp. No such clearing out here, so Hawk is not going to be able to set up an expansion anytime soon. Staff of Teleportation using that Pendant of Energy, dropping it, picking it back up. Maybe also did it with the Circlet of Nobility. Should have enough gas in the tank to try and fight back. Huntresses getting ensnared. Force Troll Shadow Priest needs to get healed back up. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives to try and clear out this creep camp just that much faster, as we are already looking at a bit of engagement off to the north here? One Moonwell now taken down. Footmen getting replaced by Riflemen, as Hawk is going to be doing some target practice here in just a moment. Forest Troll Trapper, last one to get taken down. There it goes. Ring of Protection +2 also added, as the Warden looking very strong and now heading back off to the north. Rifleman going to be able to finish off these Moonwells, and now we are supply blocked. 29/30 supply. Huntress is going to join on in. Let's take a look. Big Fan of Knives right there. Healing Spray. One Footman. Well, needs to get into the right position. Are we going to see some Abolish Magic? Yes, there you go. Abolish Magic in order to try and finish off some more units. Meanwhile, Healing Spray constantly being used to keep that Footman alive. And is it going to be enough? Huntress could try to join in on the fight as well. Shadow Strike coming in. Units are now all trying to get away. One or two volleys should be enough, as the Fireball hits the Forest Troll Shadow Priest in the back. All right, Footman could get taken down here. The timing is going to be absolutely critical. Warden trying to make its way over, but it's going to get a Shadow Strike on that Rifleman here. Now perhaps going after a Footman would be enough. There's Healing Spray. Very long distance Healing Spray, keeping that target alive and well, at least for now. One more shot should do it, and I believe that was actually denied. Warden going to be forced to back up again. You can see the Huntresses are all trying to move around every which way. The Warden needs to get more Moonwells, and in a hurry get an Ancient of Wonders for that Moonstone. Anything to try and keep all of this mana all tapped or topped off here. All right, let's take a look at this. Warden now doing a big chase here. Is going to be able to finish off this Water Elemental. Try to get a little bit of experience. The Warden could try and get in front of it, and yep, there is the experience now. Warden has a lot of ground to make up. 100 mana, could get in a big Fan of Knives. There's a Shadow Strike onto that Alchemist. Alchemist does have a Ring of Regeneration. Going to be able to recover a lot of those hit points. Footman may get lost instead. No, Priest actually absorbing a lot of that damage. Footman getting taken out. Warden down to 170 hit points. Will be able to teleport back. And it looks like both sides are ready to reset after, well, the proverbial bell ring. Both sides going back to their respective corners. They're going to try to heal back up, recoup. Forest Troll Shadow Priest being healed. The extra economy from this entangled gold mine going into units from the mercenary camp. We are still at Tree of Life, just now upgrading the Tree of Ages. And that is the problem. The mercenary camp, it is a big advantage when your opponent is still tier 1. You get a higher quality unit, even though it costs a little bit more gold. Once your opponent is already at tier 2, priests start to beat out the Forest Troll Shadow Priest significantly. So there's really, and they cost significantly less as well. So using your extra gold only to buy units from that mercenary camp, you'll end up finding that well, your opponent is spending his gold much more efficiently, and then on top of that, if Foggy was in low upkeep, well, he would actually be in a bad spot, so to speak. Huntresses off to the north, ready to clear out some more creep camps. Warden sitting at level 4, getting very close to level 5. The Warden should not actually be joining in on the fight here. He didn't want to get attacked, was still getting the benefits of that Clarity Potion. We'll see if that Warden is low on mana later. All right, Force Troll Trapper will get taken down. There it goes. Claws of Attack +6 now added to the Warden's inventory. Extra damage as well. Meanwhile, Alchemist, Ring of Protection in addition to Ring of Regeneration. That Alchemist is going to become a much more of an issue in the next patch when all additional rings give an additional +1 armor. I remember people saying that, well, Rings of Protection, they don't scale nearly as well. Every Ring of Protection, every point of armor gives a fixed amount of effective hit points. Unless they are changing how armor works, it doesn't scale. It is absolutely flat, but the reason for that is how healing also works. Healing is static. If you are healing units, healing a unit with 12 armor, well, you effectively heal more hit points than healing a unit with 0 armor. So, and same thing with Priest. Priest getting in that little bit of extra heal every single time, especially on a high hit point unit, it feels like you're not dealing as much damage. So I don't know if the patch notes really went into explaining how armor worked, and why Rings of Protection are going to be a little bit stronger. If they are a little bit stronger, I do not mind it. Tome of Retraining now being used. It's just, don't tell me that Rings of Protection are actually don't scale. Well, right? It's kind of like, no, never mind. It's kind of like saying like Claws of Attack +6 gives a fixed amount of damage and therefore is not nearly as effective. All right, Warden is going to show up, stay right here for a little bit of time. We may have a split-pronged attack. Arcane Tower is going to be here. You're going to see the Warden pretty much use a Fan of Knives, use that potion of invulnerability. Wait, nope, decides to back away as pressure is now getting added across here. Huntresses with that bounce damage. That is actually a large amount of bounce damage here. If the Huntresses are just hold position, if a Rifleman tries to pop on out, they're going to end up just taking far too much damage there. Oh, there's a Huntress there, and units are now trying to make their way back. What is the Warden doing? The Warden has finished off everything, but now needs to head back over and try to protect this expansion location. Glaive Throwers are now being added, but the army, well, is just split across every which way. Riflemen with mass focus fire, even though it was against fortified armor, still dealt a large amount of damage. Warden sitting at level 5, gonna dive on in, try to get in position. As you can once again take a look, Ogre Mauler and a bunch of these units. Oh, big Fan of Knives straight out of the gate. As you can see, Healing Spray now being used again. All right, Healing Spray, slow now cast. Warden, could it get another Fan of Knives off here in just a moment? It wants to be very well surrounded. The Glaive Throwers are now trying to back up here, but the Healing Spray from that level 3 Alchemist really counteracting much of that damage as the Rifleman, well, there goes another round. Warden, is it going to be able to get enough mana for another big round of Fan of Knives? That is the question indeed. Holy, well, there it goes, tries to drop, try to pick back up. There's another big round of Fan of Knives, but didn't seem nearly as strong. Try to poke off units as they're leaving, and wow, 2 extremely low hit point units ended up surviving and being able to escape. Hawk with the Clarity Potion getting in a little bit more heals. Perhaps should give that Ring of Regeneration back to that Archmage, at least for now, as the Archmage needs more hit points while the Alchemist doesn't. But then again, you don't want to be in a situation where you need to constantly remember what is happening here. Warden does not have a Clarity Potion. Only is going to have about 190 mana here ready to go. It does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. It could use it and then use that Potion of Invulnerability, finish off these peasants. Once the peasants are all taken down, it could try to get a Fan of Knives right here. Oh, not too late. Did not use the Fan of Knives in time. And, well, really no reason for that at all. All right, once again, back into low upkeep. Rifleman gonna go ahead and get target practice on that Tree of Life. Where is the remaining units? They're all hiding off over here. They're gonna be ready to go. Ogre Mauler's getting trained back up and just using all of that gold pretty regularly. Healing Spray being brought over. You're gonna take a look. The Vorpal gonna be able to track and deal a lot more damage. There goes some more Water Elementals as the Warden now gets to level 6. All right, we know what that means. Avatar of Vengeance is now going to be out onto the field. And with those Spirit of Vengeances out onto the field as well, things go generally from bad to worse. Healing Spray continuing to be used. Glaive Throwers trying to get in more damage. Where is that Warden? Warden does not have that much mana. We need to see more bodies out onto the field for the Spirit of Vengeances to deal even more and more damage. You can see the Spirit of Vengeances just chasing after units and getting in so much damage. However, they do not have that fast of a movement speed to try and chase down all of those units here. Warden is going to be able to get a big fan of knives off. He does get a fan of knives, but it's not really finishing off any other additional units. There is the blink, trying to focus down some units here as the Spirit of Vengeance is still coming across. Warden, it cannot be able to shadow meld. It is going to be able to shadow meld right there, and all of a sudden, fighting at night seemed like such a good idea as another blink to the front line. Going after more units again. Is it going to be able to shadow meld once more? There is that, well, there is that shadow meld again. Avatar of Vengeance, however, because of the constant moving battle, doesn't have that many that many skeletons up here to try and resurrect. Warden at level 6 could have some major problems. Potion of Healing not going to be ready in time. Warden, what is it going to do? Is it going to try to drop and pick up items? Yes, it does exactly that. Going to go ahead and fan of knives straight into the spot, getting in massive damage again. Warden could finish off units. Archmage down to 148 hit points. We could see a Shadow Strike. We could see a fan of knives. There goes the Archmage. The peasants are going to get taken down. Spirit of Vengeance getting in another kill there. And a level 5 Archmage has fallen. Foggy is up on supply, but that is pretty much it right now, only by 2. Meanwhile, getting an additional gold here. Warden now makes its way back down. Priest are going to try to heal back up. Is the Archmage getting resurrected? No, going to get resurrected here at the tavern shop, and that is always dangerous when you have an assassin-based hero from your opponent. If you are not careful, that Warden is just going to end up straight up in your base, taking out everything. A potion of invisibility would change all of that here. Clarity potions, potions of mana all being used again and getting picked back up once more. Let's take a look at this. Pendant of Energy. What is this going to be used for? Is another hero getting added? He doesn't have... He's already maxed out. Is he going to go ahead and just leave that Clarity potion right there? Now up to 615 mana. Tome of Retraining on that Warden. Foggy looking to finish off some more units. Archmage already pretty much back up to full health. Warden is going to be in a good spot. Let's take a look at this. We're going to see a big fan of knives go across the board. Healing spray to try and counteract. Let's take a look at this. Are we going to see some detonations? Yes, we are. Mass detonations. All of a sudden, the Alchemist and all of its healing is not going to be for anything. Meanwhile, Avatar of Vengeance now back out onto the field. Warden still has plenty of mana to go. Could try and finish off some more units. Gonna go ahead and fan of knives. Blink. Gonna get 2 more bodies for Spirits of Vengeances as well. And while they are invulnerable, well, that's gonna be even more problem. Spirit of Vengeance can get into this front spot and just start attacking, putting pressure while covering a large amount of spatial distance, protecting these glaive throwers. You can take a look at these. I don't know why these units, these Spirit of Vengeances, are not in that front position. They should all be in that front spot. Meanwhile, Warden with a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability still surviving right now. More units coming in. Mercenaries being hired over. And who needs tier 2 when you have mercenary camps? Vengeance now down to 45 hit points, now trying to get away. Alchemist chasing after all of that there, and that is going to be the end of the game. Warden going to finish off the Archmage for good measure. Well, nope, decides against it. Good game by Foggy. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.